Hi, welcome to H2O, the compass, part 3. So last time I was trying to show you something I noticed on the video that you couldn't see it. So I'm going to show you here what I was trying to show you, that the needle of a compass can move if you put a magnet behind it, right? And so that's done. I wanted to, since it's the last part of the conclusion of this compass presentation, I wanted to make a special thanks to Emily Olsen and Mohammed Shekaru, who made my journey through PCC such the incredible one that it's been. And so you guys, thanks, and have a look at this. I think you'll love this. So I'm going to turn this little light on so you can see where the sunlight relates to the globe. It is said that in Genesis, the world spun, or it took 7 days, so 7 times this, right? And in the Sumerian prayer, we know that they prayed 7 gods 7 times to ask for their forgiveness of 7 sins. So that's 3 times 7, which is equal to 21. And if I take my Pythagoras intersection theorem of 4 and I multiply 21 by 4, I get 84 years, which is the time of orbit of Uranus. Now, some scholars have said that there is no proof behind astrology, and at the same point in time, it is the same scientists from NASA who are providing the very proof of the science behind astrology. I have my phone here in the house of Scorpio, which is governed by Pluto, and over there, where the yellow ashtray is, I have this, which is Sweden in the center in the ceramics, and Oregon. It tilted a little bit, but it will make sense to my friend. Oops. And over here, I have the Gospel of Jesus Christ, and underneath it, the state of Oregon relative to where Sweden is at. So, here's how the house of Taurus, which is governed by Venus, relates to the house of Scorpio. Venus sounds like this. And that's recorded by NASA from the Cassini and Voyager missions of 1986 when Jupiter was in Pisces. And if I go to Pluto, this is Pluto. Provided this thing wants to work with me. Bear with me. That's the inconvenience of live TV, but it'll be worth it. Here is Pluto. So can you see now how Neil deGrasse Tyson should have never dwarfed it? Because they're talking to each other. So that was for the sound. Now let's get back to our Genesis and how it relates to God. This is the alphabetical wheel, and I have it open in Aries, and I showed the alphabet on there before, and I'll show it again later. You can find the first man name on it, A-D-A-M. Adam is the first man. And Adam lived 900 years according to Genesis, except that before Julius Caesar, we used to count the years by lunar cycle. And there are 12 of them per year, which means that Adam really lived 900 lunar cycle. Divided by 12, he lived 75 Earth orbit years. Now, let me remove this for a second and show you something. On there, you can see that a day is a rotation of the Earth, which I just showed earlier with the globe. And you can spell day right here, D-A-Y. The same way that the letter E comes from the sun. And when the letter E of the sun goes around, all around, you take that E, you put it here, and now you can spell Y-E-A, and R is for rotation. Year. A year is also spelled that way because of this. Okay? Now, if we look at all these intersections relative to religion, this is my mother's rosary with the Christ of God. And on there are 48 beads. 48, same as 48 hours. And on the third day, he rose again. This is a maple leaf, the same kind you find on the Canadian flag. As you can see, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tips. And the seed it produces is this, which is 2 seeds attached together. It looks like the horns of Taurus. And those just fell on my street this recently, which means that they fall during Taurus. Okay, so that's the relationship. 5 points. This matches the house of dragon. Taurus is dragon when Jupiter is here, and dragon is the 5th sign. This has 2 seeds. The dragon matches the Taurus sign, which is the 2nd sign, which is governed by the 2nd planet, which is Venus, which the Roman first referred to as Lucifer, the falling star, because you see Venus falling every morning. And so interpretation and conspiracy theories take you away from the truth. You know, there's nothing that's evil or dragon-like or whatever. It's just symbols were given, so we know, just like the Greek alphabet, you know, which cycle it is corresponding to. Are we in a closed cycle by the sun, or are we on a Jupiterian cycle? And that's what it was all about. So I showed the sound relationship of astrology. Now I'm going to show what scientists say is not a relationship. Before, I couldn't actually prove it, but I've shown it in a previous video, so I'll show it again. When the moon goes around, it reflects the light from the sun, right? And so in doing so, that's what makes this turn. I'm going to remove this because there's quite a bit of weight, because I have layers on there, on that cake. And so now what I'm going to do is, I'm doing the same thing, but this is instead, this is the pandemic wheel. You see, the plague happened the COVID started 2020, Jupiter in Capricorn, year of the rat. And 300 years before that, 420, the plague entered the port of Marseille. MA can be found in those things. Cholera, dragon, etc. These wheels can be found on my website. And so the way that this works is, as Jupiter goes around in his 12-year cycle, right? I have another wheel here with the symbol of Jupiter on it. So I can show you even here. And that's just the magnetic tug that I'm creating with this assemble of magnet that is doing this, right? There's nothing magical about it or anything. I just put the plastic thing there because somehow it works better to do the magnetic field reverted back. And so Jupiter in here, which is underneath that, is the rat, Capricorn, right? If I move it the other way around, when it will be in Cancer, opposite house, that's where we will find, for example, the year 2014, when the Ukrainian president was a Cancer, and he was at the peak of his power trip, and eventually had to be removed from office. You see, everybody has a starting point and an end point. And this is so because the sun, according to the Egyptian, or actually the Greeks, but I'll first start with the Egyptian, had 3 forms. Amun, Ra, and Osiris. but it's really the same sunlight, which the Greek explained as Helios, and the Greek god Helios had a bow in one hand, which represented Sagittarius, and a lyra in the other one, which is the symbol for Leo. Now I'm going to take this layer out so you can see the layout of the magnets that I put underneath. It's shaped in a W, and I kept this magnet with a back to it to hold it together in Aquarius, where I had the Sun. This one in Cancer, where I had Sagittarius. This one in Aries, where I had Jupiter. And that one where I had the Moon. And that is just my birth chart. And in Aquarius, you will find, because it's the 23rd letter of the alphabet, you will find, what's his name? Oh, I always remember him. Michael Jordan, number 23, Chicago Bulls. And W is in the house of Aquarius. In fact, that might be related to why the symbol of Aquarius is what it is. And so it's been a joy doing all this. It's been a joy also figuring out from NASA that the magnetosphere of, well, it's not NASA, it's Astrom, a Welsh guy. The magnetosphere of Jupiter is really cracked open, so that's what makes things happen. Oops. Anyway, I don't want to make this video too long. I think 12 minutes should be plenty enough. Again, thanks to all my parents, my mother who is no longer with us. God bless her soul, and she's still in my heart and in my soul. Thanks to my dad, my brothers, my godmother, and all the family worldwide. Thank you to all of you here, and take it easy.